today I want to talk about how I became a full-time music producer and how I I'm living my best life right now, although I'm in just the very beginning. But I would say that I think that a lot of people would like to live the life that I live, and the biggest component, how I became full-time music producer, and how I became happy, really happy, is listening to the soul, to the spirit, to the inner self, right? I told the story quite a few times when I was a kid. I was always told that music isn't reliable. Then you go to school, they tell you to study this shit that doesn't even help you, right? I'm a college dropout. I have literally zero education. Although I can work how much I want. I mean, of course, I do have some duties like recording these videos, and I had big enough balls to go against fucking everyone. I was partially my family, my dad. Again, if you're new on the channel, I have zero bad or sad feelings against my dad or anyone else. It's that's chill. That's chill. But just the fact that, a lot of times families, schools, it doesn't support you. It doesn't support you what you really want. And when I was in school, I always why am I even learning this in the first place? This is such a useless fucking bullshit. And I was right. I was right. So I'll tell you a couple of how it happened basically. So it was 2016, and I was studying in Sweden. We had 9 schools, then 3 schools is called gymnasium, and then you go to university. So that was technically the 10th grade, or the first year of gymnasium. And I failed at 4 subjects because I couldn't care less, and I got caught for I basically smoked pot in the student home, and they called police on me, so I was kicked out from the student home. So somebody called cops on me just because I was smoking a little bit and just chilling at my place. So, and that was the key moment, because I got kicked out from the school, and I was hey, it's 2016. I started making beats, and then I just understood that I wanna make this thing. I really want to make music, and I failed 4 subjects in school, so technically I had to study again during the summer. Just imagine that you are a kid in 16, 17, and instead of just doing what you want, exploring yourself, and I'm not even telling drinking, partying, drugging, that's retarded shit. I mean exploring yourself in a more spiritual way, doing what you want, whether it's music. Maybe you want to paint, draw, whatever, right? He wants to do something. And I had a really big conflict with my dad when he told me hey, you must study, you should go to university, and stuff like that. He was pissed at me for doing how I wanted. Can you just imagine? And it's not just your dad, your dad, my dad. Pretty much everyone in your life are pissed when you do you, when you don't give a fuck about what other people think, when you don't give a fuck about the rules, when you do how you want. And I had big enough balls to just say fuck this shit. I'm gonna go to my mom. So I stayed at my mom's house, place with my grandma, with my younger brother. And during those 3 years, I'm not gonna tell that was super productive, but I was doing music a lot of hours. It was this key period in my life. It was really boring because I was living in a village, just a couple thousand people, and it was at some point really boring. But I was mastering my skills in music, and then I moved to Latvia, to Riga, where I live right now. And I worked for my dad at like a warehouse. I worked for 2 months and I understood like fuck this shit. Like my body, my soul, it was always telling me like, bro, like do you think like fuck this shit, like it's not gonna uh, do you a favor, like help you in that sense. And I quit. I had a big argument again because like I I just didn't go well with my dad. Like at that point, like we have a really good relationship right now. But the point is, I understood, and it was like winter, and I did because I had this argument with my dad. I had zero job. I didn't have like a successful YouTube channel at that point already. Like I started it, but hey, no clue how to make money and stuff like that. And somehow through music, I get one client. It was like a couple of $100. That was enough to like pay for. I know, like if you're watching me from the United States, like 25% of you guys are from United States, and it's like yes, at that time it was possible to rent an apartment for like I paid. The biggest one was like 360. That's the biggest, including the utilities. But it's like a really small, like 18 square meters, like a hotel, technically. And yeah, I just continued doing music. And what I started realizing, just now, not even then, that when you do how you want, because you have this inner something that is like the gut feeling. The gut feeling is the best thing. Like really, I'll tell you. And I realized that I need to do what I want. I need to do what I want and care less what other people expect from me. If that goes against my manifesto, or like how you call it, like the rules that you. I don't like fuck the rules. I don't like the rules. It's more like manifesto. Sounds kind of, maybe it means the same thing, but fuck it. And yeah, I was struggling for a bit with money because I just didn't know. And then I started coaching. Because coaching at that time, like I saw like a guy, Dan Henry, if you may be familiar with him. I technically like bought his course. I was like, that was a good one. That was a good one. And then there was a really interesting period in my life. So, I'll tell you this. I worked with different coaches. If you are into, if you've been in like in an online coaching industry, like you know, like sales, you know, outreach, you know this stuff, right? For those of you guys who into entrepreneurship. So I did. I'm not gonna call out names and stuff like that. There's one really important concept. So I did how the course said. Although, like, I'm not telling that some courses are not working. For me, it didn't work. And I did, like, what if you, a couple of coaching programs. And what I always found out that like scripts, strategy, this kind of stuff, it never worked for me because that went against, I hated doing outreach. I wanted to do YouTube, but just because someone fucking indoctrinates me to do like, okay, like do you like this? And again, maybe that works for someone, but if you feel, right? If you feel really like deep inside and you know that you're not bullshitting yourself, that this is not the thing that I want to do, you don't do it. And I had like really good months, like making full-time living off music, but I had really bad months where I had to borrow money from like my previous girlfriend. And just didn't feel good. And in 2023, that was like the fucked up period. I got so low. Like, I had a breakup. Not because of the breakup really, but just because I was in this situation where I just didn't know how, like, and what I'm gonna do, like the tomorrow in the week, and I was like expecting that I could sell my equipment, and like it got so bad that even my fear of death, like I really wanted to die, like I really wanted to die because it was like the thought of doing something which is not music, going to, like, I never ever in my life worked for anyone else. Hey, yeah, flexing. No, but really, I can tell you why. Because I did my thing. I followed my soul, my spirit, what I really, really wanted. And that thing allowed me to do what I wanted. To go back to the topic, so it's 2023, the beginning. I'm struggling financially. And I was doing this strategy like, oh, let's do cold outreach, like reach out to 10 people and build relationships, connections. Yes, okay, cool. That's for you. And I'm not even telling that it doesn't work, right? What I wanted to tell is I had this moment where no, like I can't do this anymore. Like I had to break down. Ah, fuck. Let me go to my. Sorry, just checking. I'm recording my voice. I had to break down, go to like such shit where I had anxiety, fears, like every day, every minute. I was hating doing this like Instagram bullshit content just to get clients, just to survive, and it felt like I'm begging, I'm doing something, and there was a huge shift. There was like, it was May actually, like 1 year ago, when I made a video, about a topic on my YouTube channel. I was like, fuck it, like nothing works. Like the last thing that I can do was YouTube, and that was the lesson from my life. That, bro, like when you did your thing, I'm getting fucking goosebumps when I'm talking about this. When I did my thing, from one video, which got like 150 views, I got a client, so he paid me $2,000 or like euros for the coaching. I'm like, fuck. And since then, I was getting clients consistently. Why? Because I started putting out videos, and the videos I always knew this is like exactly the fucking thing that I wanted to do. Like deep inside, I just wanted to do YouTube videos. And like, trust me or not, you may feel really like intimidated, like you may be tripping the fuck out, right? It's like, I fear this, right? But the moment when you start listening to yourself, and you know, every single of you knows what you want, you already know. Like you're just not letting yourself do this. No, it's not even your fault in that sense. And yeah, I started making videos, and since then I basically never struggled um, with money. Like I'm not really thinking about strategies anymore. I'm not thinking about fucking trends like, oh, like let me make like this video how to make tech house like Fisher. I could give like less fuck about the trends about in the music industry, and so on. So what's the point of this video? How I became like the type of person who I am today, which is just crazy to see like how shitty I was like 1 year ago. It happens every year. And it's really interesting. But to summarize again, if you know that you want to make like TikToks, why don't you do it? Like, why don't you do it? Right? If you know that you want to do music, if you know that you want to do videos, whatever is the thing that you want, if you are betraying yourself, life is gonna punish you. You are going to punish yourself for not doing you. And to again summarize, just the fact that I had pulled enough balls to go in life how I want, and not how like other people expect from you. This is when you become type of a person who is interesting, who's like people wants to be like you. Basically, people buy from people who they want to like be like, or at least like they like you in some way. And just because I always had balls to like tell people like fuck off, I'm just gonna do my thing, even though like sometimes it was really painful. I was struggling. I had to like go through a lot of shit. But yeah, if you do your thing, if you trust your gut, if you trust what your soul wants, I promise you, I don't know how it works, but like all areas of my life started to improve like so much, like financially, physically, mental health, relationships, all this stuff. But if you're lying to yourself constantly and you know deep inside that you're bullshitting yourself, no, bro. Like life is just not gonna, it's not gonna reward you. But the moment when you start living for yourself, doing what you want, somehow you get the money and you get this stuff. So yeah, that was another mushroom episode. Yeah, just some experience that I wanted to share.